In this video, we will discuss Proc Report. So Proc Report is used to create a table, to create a report like this one. So this just shows the average scores for students in different department and gender. Before we proceed, I want to mention for some of the options we discussed for Proc Report, so it's only visible in text file. So what I mean is, so you, for some of the effect, like see this single line, so this like a double line, so they are visible. So only if you use ODS listing to generate the output to a ASCII file, and then you will be able to see it. Yeah, so for the default HTML output, so you will not able to see those effects. Okay, so Proc Report, so generate listing report and a summary report. Yeah, so see, this is the syntax. So the default listing displays the following. So each data value as it is stored in the dataset, or a formatted value if a format is stored with the data. So for this one, so it just looks like the output of a proc print, right? So the variable name or labels as a report column heading, and a default width for the report column. So and character values are left justified, and so numerical values are right justified. So observations in the order in which they are stored in the dataset. So you can use column statement to select variable to appear in the report and order the variables in the report. Yeah, so this is column statement. So similar to the var statement in proc print. So let me show you one. So this is an example. The dataset is just the grades. So the grades of exams for some student. So see, we use a Proc Report. So in the column statement, I just ask SAS to show the name, gender, and the exam one. Yeah, you can see, so the output looks much similar as the output of a Proc print. Okay. So then we have define statement. So the define statement just used to specify how each of the variable are displayed, right? So so those are the options we can have for in this define variable. Yeah, so those options just applies to basically for each defined variable we just for each statement we just specify one variable, right? So those options just applied to this variable. So we can use we can specify label. So label just included just a text included in quotation marks. So we can set format, right? So use a format option. We can use width. So this just controls the width of a column. We can use order option, basically asks us to sort the row and output, right? So let me show you. So first, so I just specify a see, for this original output, name, gender, and exam. So I want to use three define statement to specify so how those are displayed. So for the name, see, so here we just display name of the variable, right? Yeah, but here, so we want to use this text instead. And so we want to specify the width to be 15. For the gender, so basically I want SAS to order the observations according to gender, right? But right now, since it is not sorted, right? Yeah. And so then I want to use this as the text, I mean as the label for that variable. Yeah, so the width of the gender will be this one. Format will be this my gender. Yeah, so this is what I is a format I defined, right? So for female, I just display female. So instead of F and M, so I want SAS to display female and male. For this exam one, I just want SAS to display this as the label for that variable. Okay, so I run this. See, this is just how it looks like. Yeah, because the observations are sorted for female, so then all those observations they are females, right? And so all those they are males. We can also do summary report. So those are list report, right? So just show, essentially just list every observations, and so you so here so you just specify so how the value are displayed. For summary plot, so we can use a report procedure to create a summary report. Summary report, just like you compute summary statistics and show those summary statistics, right? So like mean or maybe some other statistics. Yeah. And so in summary statistics, in summary report, so all observations whose group variables have the same value are collapsed into one single row in the report. And so you can define more than one group variable. No display or order variables in the report definition, yeah, because they produce list report. So let me, yeah, show you. So for character variable, right? So by default, and so we will use that display, and so it will generate a listing report. Yeah, but for numerical variables, so usually, so by default, so we want to create a summary report. So the summary statistic by default, so is sum, just sum of those numerical values, and it has no effect when producing a listing report, so that contains character variables. So and some other statistics, so we may use n and mean and minimum and maximum. So let me show you this one. Right, so I have group, right? So for department and gender, yeah. But for exam, so I want SAS to compute the mean, right? Yeah. So for remaining like width and labor, I think we've already discussed. Yeah. So for the exam one, so I want the format will be 4.1, right? Okay. So this is how it looks like, right? Yeah. So basically, we just computed the summary statistic for this exam one probably. So I want to show this as mean of mean exam one, right? Yeah. So this is how it looks like. Okay. Notice, so there are some other options like headline, head skip. So what does that mean? Headline, head skip. Yeah, so this is just like, see from here, so you cannot see the difference. But if you look at here, headline, so just means, see, there's a line below the label. Head skip, so just means, see, after this line, so SAS will skip one extra line. Yeah, so of course you cannot see that effect in here. If you want to see the effect, so you need to ODS listing file equal this one output.txt, right? Yeah. So ODS listing close. Yeah. So if you run that one, SAS will generate an output. If you double click it, see, so then you will be able to see the effect. Okay. So then there are some other options we may have. So we may have the R break. R break, so just means this to add a ground total and a line, right? So you may R break after or R break before. So after just means place the break line at the top of the report, and so before just means place the break line at the beginning of the report. So summarize. Yeah, I think so. This summarize option just tells us to add a ground total. DOL. So DOL just means the double overline. See, D means double, O means over line. So DUL, double underline for each value. OL, overline, UL, underline. So U means under, O means over. Let me show you those effects. So here, so I use a DOL, right? Again, so this effect is only visible when you use this listing. Yeah. So you run this one. Okay, see from here, so you cannot see that effect. Yeah, and in this output, see double line, right? You have this ground total. And if you change that to this is over, right? So under, right? You run this one. See, this line is just after this total. Okay, yeah. So those are just some special option and so provided. I think in older days, right? Because in older days, so usually so the output will be displayed and will be saved in text file. You can try those different options and by yourself and to see what they mean, right? So like, see, remove this double and we say OL just the single overline, right? So if you run this one, see, this is single overline. Yeah. I think so. This is a skip line, right? See, if I remove this head skip, yeah. So if you remove that one, see, there's no separate blank line. So after this line, right? Yeah. So in fact, for those options, and so you just compare the output with and without that option, and so you will know. So what's the purpose of that option? That's the end of this video.